Good evening, Board President Rodriguez, board members, Dr. Roberts, staff, guests here tonight. My name is Greg Heberling, Resource Conservation Specialist and 25-year employee with the district. I am accompanied tonight with Mr. Barry Evepak, the Director of Facility Maintenance, and Mr. John Borges, assisting Green Fellow Farrah McDill, who could not make it this evening with Project Green. We are here this evening to talk about a new program designed to promote awareness and provide education to all stakeholders to conserve our natural resources. The name of our program is the Sacramento City Unified School District Resource Conservation Incentive Program. During the 2011-2012 fiscal year, the district spent approximately $8.2 million on utilities. That's electricity, natural gas, water, and sewer. That number represents approximately 2% of the general fund. Current predictions of utility cost indicates that amount will increase. Our school sites comprise the overwhelming majority of the district's utility costs. So the program focuses on conservation and cost savings at our school sites through user education and financial incentives. The program compares baseline information for a school's utility usage and cost determined by a moving 5-year average to a current utility usage and cost. The basic premise of the program is to return a portion of the financial savings realized by reduced consumption back to the school sites to support their teaching and learning efforts. The driving governance for our program is Board Policy 3511, the Grimes-Kennedy Green and Grid Neutral Model Schools Policy Initiative, recognizing the importance of minimizing energy dependence, carbon footprint, and use of natural resources. It is critical that an overall district utility cost savings be achieved to ensure that incentive dividends are available. An award dividend pool will be created with 50% of the actual district utility cost savings. 50% of the actual dollar saves goes directly back to the general fund. 50% of the savings goes to our award dividend fund, which is divided into 3 categories: the base program, superior performance category, and creative ideas. The base program represents 40% of the award dividend pool. Enrollment in the base program is automatic. All schools will automatically be enrolled. All school sites realizing usage and cost reductions will see a portion of the base dividend award. School sites would need to implement conservation strategies to achieve reductions in utility usage and cost. The superior performance category represents 30% of the award dividend pool. School sites that have realized the greatest reduction in utility usage and cost determined by the RCIP panel. Now, I will define the panel a little later in this presentation. At the discretion of the panel, multiple schools may be awarded the superior performance dividends. Okay, we have the creative idea category, which represents the last 30% of the award dividend pool. The awards will be determined by the RCIP panel, looking for creativity and conservation strategies and high level of participation in green strategies. Okay, the RCIP panel, a broad-based executive committee to be established to oversee and implement the RCIP. The panel will have the authority to make dividend pool awards and adjustments as necessary. The program requires participation from our students, our parents, our staff members, and community members to reach its full potential. It is important that this panel is represented by all groups. We would like a panel of 12 to 15 members with all segments and areas represented. A web page detailing the RCIP will be maintained on the district website. A data dashboard will be created to identify baseline consumption, monthly targets, monthly performance, and award achievement. The program strives for success achieved through monitoring, engaging all stakeholders, increased savings, and educating students with grade level appropriate engagement and information sharing to all school sites. Again, all school sites will automatically be enrolled in the program, and the installation of our energy management control system, centrally located HVAC management, allows for ease of system monitoring and scheduling. We believe that greater savings can be achieved through a shared savings program with the benefits of monitoring utility bills and cost. Our next steps will be to work with interested site personnel to expand the program and encourage stronger participation through green teams, audits, and out-of-the-box thinking. We will be working with the Center for Green Schools fellow Farrah McDill to encourage further participation through Project Green. Thank you for your time. We're looking forward to measured success in this program, and I could be reached at greg.heberling@scusd.edu.
Thank you, Greg. We have no public comments, and we have a board member, Member Kennedy.
Yeah, I love the concept and the whole reason for doing it and everything, but I have some significant concerns with it. But I'm not going to belabor it tonight because it's an information item.
Sure.
I will be in touch with staff to talk about it more. Sure. I have one question that I will just throw out right now, though, is let's say that hypothetically speaking, and hopefully not so hypothetically speaking, that the wisdom of this community is to vote for a bond in November, and that carries with it potential energy efficiency measures and so forth. So, how, if you're going to change out the HVACs, that's just an example, just hypothetical, at one school, or you're going to the ballast at another school, or the shade tree. How do you factor all of that in? Now, keep in mind, we've been down this road a little bit before.
There's going to be inequities within the system, and there are things that we're going to have to overcome with that. The one thing that kind of saves the program, I think, is the creative idea concept, because if a school, there are going to be schools that are not fairly matched, with the newer construction schools. So if they do save energy and cost, let me retract. I talked about a 5-year moving gauge of how much energy they're using, and that'll establish a number that we can go off of. So even if a school's not as energy efficient as maybe say a newer school or something, the fact that they saved energy from their average, and the district has saved money, then there will be money in the pool for them. Does that make sense?
I think that I have a lot more questions that really tonight's
Sure,
not the night.
sure.
So I'll be in touch. Thank
Sure,
you.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Cunyo.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as Member Kennedy. I'll belabor it a little bit more than he would. I'm more worried about the dividend pool and the inequities in it. Specifically, I get the idea, I get the intent, I see the thinking, and I actually like the thinking and the accountability and all that. But, when you're talking about funding and giving money to populations of kids for their education, not only the practical difficulties that Member Kennedy could probably speak more elaborately and better to than I can, but just doling out money based on environmental cost savings is a dicey proposition for me. We do funding based on poverty. We do funding for a variety of reasons. Adding this as another sort of redistributive mechanism is something I'm not in favor of in principle. Not that it's not a good program, not that these things aren't good, It's just that I don't think in public education we should redistribute money based on cost savings for these purposes.
Well, it's more of a, it's also a learning mechanism. Excuse me. It's more of a learning mechanism. Well, part of it's a learning mechanism. It's not for just redistribution of funds to everybody's eligible for it. People that have more creative ideas. It's teaching people about their environment. It's teaching people about sustainability. That's what the main core of the whole program is. And it's, we reward students, staff, sites in different ways, a lot of times with a ribbon, stuff like that. But to really pronounce it and really make it really worth their while, the reward, that's what the reward is about. It's about the efforts, the undertaking, about being creative, about, it's not just something we're looking to kind of concentrate for in just the school sites. We want them to expand to their homes, to their communities, things like that. And I don't know if it's quite, isn't designed for a redistribution of funds necessarily. It's a reward mechanism. And no matter what their social status is, they have the same ability to be rewarded. It's not based on anything else,
And I understand all that.
right?
And I get it. And I know why you did it. And
Right.
I see it. And I'm just saying, we're going to find cost savings through
Right.
this program. We're going to pull it up and we're going to redistribute it based on their performance out there in regards to the metrics you're using, right?
Right.
The water, the electric, et cetera.
Correct.
I don't agree with that on an equity principle.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I fundamentally find it to be flawed. I don't want to run a school district, fund a school district based on this. I don't want to.
Right.
I'm fine with the cost savings being recouped at the general fund level and allowing our academic officers and our superintendent and the board to give money based on a number of criteria that they see.
Right.
This is where I'm having the problem. I get the intent. I know it's
Right.
it's a good intent. It's a accountable model. It's a learning mechanism. I get all that. I'm just sticking on the equity piece. Like, what if, just for instance, what if all of our high income schools realize all this cost savings and do all these great things, and we just start shoving the money to them? They're the ones with the superior performance. They're the one with all the creative ideas. I can't countenance that. I mean, I just can't. So
That's why it goes into a pool that's developed, that's distributed equally across the board. Especially the base pool is. The base pool is a portion of it. There's three different, it's divided into, the base pool is 40% of it.
right.
Then, so 40% of that's going to go out to all the school sites.
But in terms of the money, there's going to be winners and losers.
There will be inequities, you're right, because people are more creative. But hopefully, that portion of the creativity and will spawn people to want to be.
I totally agree with you
Right,
on
I
that point.
understand. No,
I
but
won't
also
belabor it
it's in
anymore.
It's also
I
in
just-
the,
it's difficult. This program is difficult for me
Yeah.
because it's a mini funding mechanism inside of a larger inequitable. There's just you're going to run into so many inequities in this mini system. From my point of view, I'd be happy to be educated more if you think I'm wrong. Be happy to talk to anybody, but that's I like everything else. I understand the intent. It's just I've got issues with how that is actually going to play out in practice.
it is in a draft stage, so we can look at all different possibilities.
Member Terry.
Yeah, and I think it's been said very well, but I'm just going to throw out a hypothetical in the fact that, Rosemont High is the newest high school and has, if they have a couple motivated parents or a science teacher that decide that they can figure out how to do some of these creative things, then all of a sudden they're getting rewarded more than a Hiram Johnson that really needs the money more. I mean, we've looked at priority schools and a lot of other things in this district, and we base our decisions more on need, or almost completely on the need of the students and which ones need to have investments more than others in some instances. And I liken it back to an idea that came before this board about certain trustee areas fundraising to lower the class sizes, which to me I think is a gross inequity if you aim it at a neighborhood or a specific school or anything else. And this takes us right down that path. So If there was a base pool and that was it, that'd be one thing. But when you put in the superior performance and the creative ideas, if a group of motivated, educated parents in an affluent neighborhood come to a school and really help do those things, those are the types of resources and the types of expertise that some of our other less affluent, maybe less educated neighborhoods wouldn't be able to compete with. And so, and I'm just saying, and again, there's probably not an answer to that, but what I'm saying is there's a danger there, which at least some of us, I think, are very, very hesitant under that design of it. And again, I really do appreciate this is creative. This is the kinds of things that I think this board has been asking the superintendent and staff to come to us with. But there's there's a slippery slope here that I would be very concerned about.
Thank you. I echo the concerns of all these guys, so I'm not going to say anything about that.
Okay.
On the is in regards to the panel, there's 4 groups. There's anywhere between 12 to 15 members. I have taken issue in the past in terms of how how team members are selected for work groups or task force groups, because so frequently we get the parents that are always engaged and they're always involved and they're always from the better schools and they're never from the schools that, require more attention. They have higher needs. And, as a representative of an area that a lot of my schools are aged, the parent participation is not to the maximum level. The student participation is not to the maximum level. And then so frequently in the past is we've seen our work groups gather and we have staff that's on there. Maybe they're influencing other students, they're influencing the parents. And then, the final outcome is the final outcome because everybody agrees. It's groupthink. So I take issue to that part unless you can come up with a formula that's going to be equitable across all types of schools. I'm going to take issue with that as well. So amongst the other stuff about the division of the money and how it gets doled out, these are the people who are actually saying, here's where the money goes. And then how does that group look like? So those are all the comments. This is an information item only. I assume you'll be back hearing all of our comments you said you had alternatives, and I believe everybody's going to be interested in hearing alternatives.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Item 10, business and financial information. We're just receiving information. And 11 is future board meetings. So we have November 1st, 4:30 closed session, 6:30 open session. November 15th, we have 4:30 closed session, 6:30 open session again. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? My screen is black. So Member Bell, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. Thank you, President Rodriguez. Tonight, I would like to just announce to my fellow and sister board members that due to my expanding work commitments in the Bay Area, I intend to submit my resignation next week to County Superintendent Dave Gordon, which will be effective December 23rd, 2012. And my deferred resignation will allow time for the board to consider whether to appoint my successor or to call for a board election within the 60-day period following my resignation. Obviously, I'm very sad. In the meantime, I will continue to represent Area 1. It's been both a privilege and an honor to have served on this board since I was elected in 2006 and to represent the students and parents and the community of Sacramento. So I would like to thank my colleagues on this board, including our student board member and members in the past, our superintendent, our hardworking teachers, our classified staff for all the important work that you do with limited resources. And so it's with great sadness I do this, but my work commitments are in the San Francisco area, and it takes a lot of time, and it's difficult to maintain staying in Sacramento and working in San Francisco. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Bell, and we're all, I'm pretty sure I can speak on behalf of the board on this. We're all very sad to hear your news. And I'm sure we support your decision in this. So thank you very much for sharing that information with us this evening. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. I have a motion by Member Terry and a second by Vice President Wu. All in favor? Aye. And opposed? And abstentions? We are adjourned.